On my other videos, I talked about melting some PVC to make this kind of paddle holder. And I've got other videos on other options. But what if you want to use PVC because it's solid and reliable, but you don't want to melt? Well, I'm going to show you a way just to take a regular PVC pipe and make a robust, reliable paddle holder. Stay tuned. PVC seems to be the wonder material for making hacks. And for making paddle holders, there's probably no better material. But the problem is, most paddles, are about 1.25 inches wide, but 1.25 inch PVC fits on these pretty loosely. So how are we going to use PVC to make a paddle holder that doesn't involve any heating or melting? Now, the channel, funnily named Fart Attack, has a good option on this, and I'll link it up here, and I'll link his channel up at the end as well. He's got a lot of good ideas, but I'm taking where he left off and moving forward to not have any melting and give you a nice robust paddle holder at the end. So the first step is to get some 1.25 inch PVC and then cut it into 6-inch sections. Here's two 6-inch sections, and I cut these off at a 30-degree angle just to give it a little bit of angle to duplicate what you get on a commercial one, and I think it's going to make the paddle go in here a little bit easier. Now the question right now is, how much of this do we cut off to allow this to clip in? You know, if you cut it off to where there's enough to have this just drop in, it's going to come right back out. Well, I've already done the math on that in earlier practice runs, as you can see right here, and I've determined that the cut you need to make right here needs to be a little over 1.25 inches around the circumference. Well, now how are you going to do that? Well, what you got to do is you got to take a piece of tape, lay it out, measure 1.25 inches, and then you can put that on the PVC like so, mark the two spots, and then you'll know where to cut. So let me take these two, I'll put them in my vise, I'll do the measurements, and then I'll cut out this opening, and I'll show you how it's going to clip in. Well, I can show you right now that this is going to clip in just fine. It's still a little bit loose. I've got a solution for that. Stay tuned. But be sure you use that measurement hack to get that opening correct. So you can see I've laid it out here and I've made my marks on the PVC. Now I'll just draw straight lines and then I'll know where to cut. To make sure I'm going to get a straight line, I use a level to make sure this is perfectly aligned in my vise. After doing a couple trial runs in terms of the tension, I think foam that is 1/4 inch tall is the solution. You can see that that's not moving. I had to use one of the full-size pool noodles, but I cut a reasonable 1/4 inch square out of here, and now that's going to form the basis to hold this in. The next step is to use some contact cement to attach this to the PVC. I inserted the foam using the contact cement, and now I'm ready to mount this up. So what you need to do is get a dollar store cutting board. They're nice and thick. If you don't think that they're thick enough, you can always double them over and attach them with contact cement. And now I'm going to align these on the cutting board, drill through, and attach them with some screws. Let's put it on. Got it all mounted up on my utility track that's on top of my boondocks. Now you can see how easy it goes in. It's in there nice and firm. If I wanted to firm it up even more, I could increase the amount of foam. But this is good because it's easy in, easy out, yet still stable. That was the fourth option for a paddle holder, and I actually think this is probably the second best option. The first, if you can melt PVC, is to go with Rick's idea of melting down a 2-inch diameter piece of PVC, because this is totally solid. Depending on the thickness of the HDPE, and again, I'm cheaping out using a dollar store cutting board, this is going to wobble a little, If you use a 1/2 inch thick piece of HDPE, this would still be very stable. But it's going to work, and if you can't melt PVC, this is a great option. What do you guys think? I think I've exhausted the ideas that are inexpensive anyway for making a paddle holder. Throw the comments down below. Thanks.